All right, I wanted to do a quick little showing off. We had a setup today, a little commercial we shot. It's actually at my house because it was super low budget. And I just want to show you the setup. And we also, actually, I got a second to take a few minutes and have the talent stand, and I turn on all the lights that we used one at a time so we could show you what that, how each light affected. So really quick, let me show you. So right here, we had talent standing behind this countertop and with the computer open. And we had the camera, obviously, over here. And we had a dolly push in towards the talent as we started the piece, and we landed with it on her. She did a bunch of her lines, and then at the end we pulled back out. So that's, the dolly was nice. Move back and forth. So lighting wise, it's obviously, I have some big windows in the kitchen which are nice, but we want to kind of supplement that. I'll show you what we started with. This is the only light I could not get to work for the little demo I did. We used it for the actual shoot, but because it's a HMI, it's a hot strike, so I couldn't turn it off and then turn it back on really quick again. So the talent didn't have a lot of time to stand around, so I didn't use that one to actually show what was going on. I do have a final shot with it on I could show you. Anyway, long story short is we had a few fluorescent lights. So here's our key light kind of supplementing the windows here. So a little bit of light from this window, more light from this window though. And that's kind of what that HMI outside was kind of doing too. It was a little bit of a edger, so the side of the person slash key light still. So I was keying from this side of their face, which means you need to have a light for the fill side, which was this light right here. And then you'll notice that I have the grid on this one, which means it's a little more directed, and it cuts the light down a little bit, so it's not quite as bright. Mostly what it does is it keeps the light going straight ahead so that it wouldn't spread out and illuminate the whole. I mean, it did spread out. It's a soft light anyway, and it spread out and kind of illuminates some of the kitchen, but it took some of the light off, maybe some of the fridge and the door and some of those cabinets and stuff. So it was supposed to be mostly on her. And then we had a couple of these little LEDs, which are very convenient. I just got these from Amazon. They're super cheap nowadays. I think it was like 36 bucks for these guys. They're the really cheap ones, but they've come a long way. The color is good on them. I had one for our edge or our kicker on the back of her head to kind of make the back of her head glow a little bit, which was nice. And then this one right here, you can see I have a diffusion plate on the front of it. Whoops. Diffusion plate on the front of it. Let me move my mic out of the way. And that just comes with it. We could throw a piece of, Opal or 250 off the truck if I wanted to make it a little bit bigger and softer, but that worked fine. And I didn't turn up the light all the way. It was for her face, just to flatten out her look a little bit, to make it a little more kind of beauty, take any of the face blemishes and take the shadows out of it. And then lastly, again, was this HMI outside. Kick it in some light, so a nice edge on this side of her, just kind of a little more contrast. So that was the lighting setup. We're shooting on the red, 4K. Today we're running, instead of my red Cine Zoom, just the Tamron Canon mount. This is the 18 to 85, or sorry, 17 to 50. Does a good job. It's a 2.8 across the board, so it's pretty fast for a zoom. Things I don't like about it are the focus ring is really short. You can see here it only travels, like 3 inches. So it's hard to get a real good precise focus without it jerking a little bit. But for what it was today, it was working fine. But my small HD is melted at the moment. The battery pack's melted off the back. So we're using the Lilliput. I think it's called the 5D actually. This monitor, I needed a review on this monitor. It's actually, I've been very impressed with its cost and for what it is. I mean, they do a really good job making cost-effective monitors, and this one is really outperformed its price tag, which is pretty cool. I'll do a review on that. Oh, and let me just show you, just for fun, this is our boom pole for the day. little gaff tape action going on there. My actual boom pole was rented out and I didn't get it back in time, so we just made do. So that's the basic setup for today. We are monitoring off of the Lilliput and this nice little Vizio, all HDMI. And we were recording, there's a sound sync to the, not sync, sorry, but we were just going directly into the camera. This is a specially wired mini jack going just from the wireless pack into the red, so I don't have to sync, but then as well a backup to the Zoom so that we have good audio for sure. And we did that just from this shotgun mic. My good old Audio Technica came off of the Sennheiser butt pack and went to two receivers on the same frequency so they could receive it simultaneously, and we could record to the camera and to the Zoom, and off we went. So that was the setup for today. You should have been seeing maybe some samples along the way. If I haven't posted, I'll edit that. Anyway, any questions, please let me know. I am going to be traveling this next week, doing a documentary. We'll talk about all the gear that goes into that, but thanks for watching.
Okay, so here is the clip of me turning, this is all the lights off, and I turn on the lights that I have in the set there on one at a time to show kind of what they each do to the talent on her face. So right now, this is just a window light coming in through the north windows in my house. You can see that it's got some, it's actually not bad by itself as is. If you wanted to shape the background a little bit more, or if you want to make this look any more interesting, you could make it put on a tighter lens with a faster aperture to make the depth of field a little bit more shallow, so you're not seeing all the kitchen stuff behind her. But you can see she's got a little bit of a contrast in her face. The shadows are just giving some shape to her face. You could tweak those a little bit, but this isn't what we're going for this commercial. There we go. So I just turned on our camera right flow light to kind of fill up that side of her face. The opposite side of her face where the window light's coming in. And then there's the key light, and this has all the bulbs, all 6 of the bulbs, the 55-watt bulbs turned on. That's the one without the grid on it. I'm going to go around to the back here and turn on her kicker or hair light. We have above on the cabinets. There you go. I turn it on and I dial it back a little bit, and then come around to the front kind of eye light, fill light on her face again, so you can see it. I brighten it up and I bring it back down just to take any shadows off of her face, which makes it look really flat and kind of a beauty look to it. So that was kind of the finished look. Well, besides the HMI outside the window, which wouldn't turn back on for me, I didn't let it sit long enough to turn it back on, but that would have given a little bit more of an edge on her shoulder and her side, just like the beginning there. And there you go. That's the basic lighting setup for this piece, and simple as that. So the last thing that we'll do is just do a quick color correction. This won't be the official correction necessarily, but I'll just throw some contrast in the scene, boost the colors a little bit, so you can kind of see what it might look like without the flat look that the raw red will capture in. This is a pretty simple ad, and here you go. A little more contrast to the scene, a little more color, but it comes across nice.